Thank you, Tom. We are back. I consider this first gentleman a good friend. You know, I don't think you teach people to be funny. They used to have schools, what they call comedy schools, where people would go to learn to be comedians, and they never really worked out. You can kind of learn comedy construction by writing, but I think most people who entertain as professional comedians say things in a funny way, or they say funny things. They are simply born funny and have a funny mind. And Buddy Hackett is one of those. Probably the best at it. Would you welcome Mr. Buddy Hackett?
So Freddie called me this morning, and he said, you probably ate already.
This man is a friend.
It was 10 to 7.
Yeah.
So I said, you're right. And he said, you really don't need to have dinner, do you? I said, no. He said, well, come over tonight. So I said, okay.
You see? Now you gave up your Thanksgiving and you showed up.
I didn't. I'm going, after I leave here, I'm going to Harold Robbins' house.
Oh, the writer?
Yeah, and they're not dressing the bird.
Well, those parties I hear.
Yeah. Because if he did dress the bird, it would be the only thing he ever had that was dressed.
Yeah, wasn't the Betsy his latest?
Yeah, but I don't even know what it is. It's a hollow sound tonight in the crowd.
Well, we have a few less people than we normally do.
Well, it looks full, though.
Well, people are full, but we have a few.
See, when
a couple empty seats.
That's what happens. When people are full, the laughter comes. When they're empty, it comes. Oh!
It goes around. You know what's funny you bring that up? Because last night on the show, we were trying to figure out where the word, when a turkey applied to a show, came from. And, you know, they say, hey, I went and saw the show. It was a turkey. And the only thing I had ever heard, and it's not true of this audience, and I don't take this personal, that a lot of Broadway actors had said that very often on Broadway, on Thanksgiving Day, audiences would be, maybe they had eaten too much, they would be a little quieter, and that's where it came around. Do you know? And they'd say it's Turkey Day.
I don't think it's got anything to do
Day.
with that.
Oh. Well, it sounds very...
No, turkeys...
Certainly sounds obvious to me.
Turkeys are such dumb birds. They're the dumbest bird there is. A turkey... They are that. If it's raining, will look up and hold its mouth open and drown.
That's a dumb bird.
The dumbest bird. They're the dumbest.
Yeah.
They're lucky if they throw up, you know. And then that's the only thing they ever try to... The smarter turkeys try to teach their fledglings, or turklets.
Turklets.
That's the only thing they ever teach them, is how to throw up after a rain.
I didn't know that.
But...
So you think that's why turkey...
It works a lot better if you hit it with a tennis racket. I'm sorry, Fred,
yes, well...
but I figure you'd let me get one in for the holiday.
Okay, one for the holiday. You got your one in, that's
all right, I ain't gonna say.
That's your limit. That's your limit. This is Thanksgiving.
No more.
You just wouldn't feel right if you couldn't sneak one in somewhere.
Well, last time I was here, I didn't say even one. I just didn't. But I didn't want to forget it.
Okay. You've reminded them now. You have your limit.
Yeah. Well, you know what I used to say in the show, that it's not a bad word. It comes from anterior superior spine.
Yes, no, we don't have to. That's all it is.
That's all it is, right. If a doctor ever says to you, you have contusions and lacerations of the anterior superior spine...
That means?
You get scared. You don't know what you got. But if he says to you, you've got a little glass in your ripper and that... Then you say, oh, thank you very much.
This all started out with talking about a turkey. Hey, let me ask you something. You used to talk about your mother's cooking.
My mother was the worst cook.
Well, I know you said you'd stuff later on for 2 hours. Now, how about Thanksgiving? Did you ever have...
We never had turkey on Thanksgiving.
Never?
No, we had chicken. We had chicken, no matter... Anything important was chicken. In fact, if somebody died, we had chicken. If there was a birth, we had chicken. It was a... That's it. She says, I'll make a chicken. But we didn't know that was... We always thought that was her selection, but she couldn't make anything else.
A chicken?
No. You ever hear what Shecky Green said about his mother?
No.
He says, Ma, why is the chicken so greasy? She said, because it's not chicken. I take grease and shape it like a chicken. Now, the funny part of it is, Shecky's mother didn't talk that way at all. She spoke beautifully. Just as good as you. I was going to say just as good as me, but that would leave a lot to be wanted.
Yes. So always chicken.
Yeah, chicken. That's all we ever had. My father...
Did you have the sweet potatoes and all pumpkin pie and all that? None of that.
Pumpkin pie? Here's what my mother would say. Pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie was... She would call it treif. It's not treif. It would mean forbidden to Jews. She would call it treif. It's not. You could eat it. It's a vegetable.
Yeah.
But anything that she didn't know about was treif.
Treif.
That's it. Yeah, a train from New York to Miami was treif. Fat, treif. Fat. How do you go then? Uncle Benny's car. If you don't go in Uncle Benny's car, see, in the Bible, when Moses wanted to go to Miami, he went in Uncle Benny's car.
I didn't know that. I missed that.
Of course. It's all tradition.
Now, I got to show you something funny. Last time you were on the show, when Buddy comes on, we hardly say more than hello, how are you, thanks for coming, whatever, backstage. Buddy says, what do I talk about tonight? I don't feel funny, or I feel funny, or whatever. And I said, something will happen when we come out there. So last time he was here, we were sitting here during the commercial break saying, and he was just, we're making notes. And he says, and I picked it up, and I had this up in my office. I'm a saver, and I had it in my folder, and I pulled it out. This is the thing from last time from when he was on the show. And he written down, shot a turkey, and that's one of the stories I think you told, right?
Yes.
You called the cat on a roof. You told that story.
Yeah.
About the plumber, elephants you have. But you got a lot of other things there.
Yeah.
Now, can I just pick one of these out of here?
Sure.
By the way, and another reason I want to thank you for coming. You're a ski buff.
Oh, yes.
And for the first time out here, we have got snow up in Northern California.
And I just came back from Denver, Colorado, from Aspen, Colorado.
They finally got snow?
Have we ever got snow? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something.
It was a grim winter.
I was up at Snowmass. You know, the lifts didn't open till today.
Yeah.
But I was there last Saturday, and I was there in a snowstorm. In fact, I told Freddie I was going to bring a picture on, and Sherry forbid me. There was so much snow up there that I got naked in the snow with just tennis shoes and socks and a tennis racket like this. And, I mean, it was... I said to my wife, well, I'm just as covered as I am with shorts. And she said like this. Which means you ain't going to show that picture on there.
So you were so joyous that
Oh, yeah. I got out in the snow and took a picture, and I was going to bring it on to show how much snow we have up in Aspen,
Not
Colorado.
only do they need it for the people who work at ski resorts, but for the skiers, but they also need the moisture in most parts of the country, and that's another good thing.
You know, I told you about my friend Lewis, the guy with the mountain lion last time.
Yeah.
Well, he calls
mountain lion in his home, right?
He's got a mountain lion and a leopard, and he's got the parrot and the macaw that imitate him. You know, where the parrot goes, the macaw goes, no, the parrot goes, ah, and the macaw goes, hush. And I kept thinking I was trapped in the house. Well, he called me from up there in Aspen today. He says, heck, you wouldn't believe it. There's so much damn snow here, you just love it. And I said, hush. And he thought it was his parent. He said, huh? He said, where am I calling you? He thought I was back in his house in Dallas.
That's funny. Hush. Okay, I'm just going to pull something out here. You're pretty good. You're a good printer, you know? Yeah. Derby hat. I haven't the slightest idea what derby hat means.
Okay, a lady is walking along Delancey Street, New York, and there's a sign says, we will make you an 8x10 glossy photograph of any old photo you have. She walks in, she says, how much it's costing to make here a 8x10 glossy photograph from what I got here tin type from my husband, what is that? He says, $5. She said, all right, I won't have it. She said, listen, I want to ask you a question. He got on his face here a mole. If he would have lived more, he would have taken off that mole. But now, when you make that picture, could you take off? He says, yes. She said, the doctor was going to charge $15 to take off that mole. What do you charge? He says, nothing, I'll take it off. She says, all right. Now is out of style a derby hat. You seen that picture? He's wearing a derby hat. Could you make that picture without a derby hat? He says, yes. How much cost? Nothing. All right. She said, fair enough. He says, let me ask you a question. How did he wear his hair? She said, what, are you stupid? You'll take off his hat. You'll see.
Derby hat. And whatever we got left for next time. Now,
well, wait a minute. This is a good one. You ought to hear that.
Okay, now let me come back. I got to do this first. Then we'll come back and we'll pick up a...
We'll have to do that first.
Has to do with the... See, I never really wanted to mention because I might be tipping the punchline or something.
Just say that word.
Just say that, okay.